All right, let's dive right in. We're going to tackle two of the biggest buzzwords in AI right now. Two terms that you hear everywhere, but they mean totally different things. AI agents and agentic AI. And look, if you've ever thought, wait, aren't those the same thing? You're definitely not alone. So today, we're going to clear all that up.
I mean, just look at this chart. Ever since the big AI boom kicked off, interest in these terms has just shot through the roof. But here's the fascinating part. They aren't just two words for the same thing. They represent two completely different paths for where AI is heading. To really get our heads around this, we're leaning on some fantastic research from Cornell University that finally helps set the record straight.
So this really brings us to the core question, right? What is the real difference here? To figure it out, we have to move past the generative AI we all know and love, like a basic chatbot, and look at these two newer, much more powerful forms of AI. A good way to think about it is this. One is like a highly skilled person you hire for one specific job, while the other is like hiring an entire, coordinated team to build a whole project from the ground up. Okay, so first up, let's meet the AI agent. This is really the first big leap beyond just a simple chatbot. This is not an AI that just talks to you, this is an AI that gets up and acts.
So what is it really? Well, an AI agent is basically a piece of software that can work on its own to get a job done. The key is this continuous loop it runs. It sees what's going on, it thinks about what it needs to do next, and then it actually takes action to hit a specific goal. It's an AI that does stuff.
You could say an AI agent has three things in its DNA. First, it's got autonomy, which means it can work without a ton of human handholding. Second, it's task-specific. It's built to be a real expert, but only at one very specific job. And finally, and this is crucial, it's reactive, meaning it can adapt on the fly as new information comes in.
Let's make this concrete. Think about customer support. An AI agent here wouldn't just answer a question. It would actually connect to your company's live database to track a package or tap into the return system to start a refund process. It's like a super efficient, single-minded employee who is just laser-focused on one job.
Or, hey, think about your own inbox, right? What a mess. An AI agent could act as your personal email assistant. It could scan all your incoming mail, figure out what's actually urgent, tag things for you, and even learn over time which people are most important to you. It's all about automating those tedious little tasks to free you up.
So what does this look like in practice, step by step? Let's say you ask it for the latest news on AI regulation. The agent knows it can't just make up an answer, so it realizes it needs a tool. On its own, it goes out, does a web search, reads and understands the articles it finds, and then pulls it all together into one smart, cohesive answer for you. The entire task done from start to finish.
Okay, so that's the solo worker, but how do you scale that up? Well, if an AI agent is that one skilled specialist, then Agentic AI is the entire team of specialists, all working together on a much bigger, much more complicated goal. The magic word here is system. Agent AI isn't one single program. It's a whole collection of different specialized agents that have to talk to each other, coordinate their actions, and figure out on their own how to break down a huge problem into smaller jobs for the team. And this analogy from the research paper is the perfect aha moment. An AI agent is like a smart thermostat. Its one job is to keep your house at the right temperature, and it does it automatically. Simple, effective. But Agentic AI? That's the entire smart home system. You've got a weather agent talking to a security agent, talking to an energy agent, and they're all collaborating to optimize the entire house for comfort, safety, and efficiency. It's intelligence at a whole new level. So for an application, think about a really complex task, like writing a big research paper. In an agentic system, you might have one researcher agent that goes out and finds all the relevant studies, a writer agent summarizes them, and maybe a librarian agent handles all the citations and formatting. They work together to produce one final document, something that would be way too big for a single agent to handle.
And this gets really cool when you bring it into the physical world. Picture a fruit orchard at harvest time. You have a mapper drone flying overhead, acting as the eyes in the sky, finding all the ripe fruit. It then tells a team of picker robots on the ground where to go. And they, in turn, hand off the fruit to transporter bots. It's like a real-time robotic ballet, where every single part is coordinating to get one massive job done.
Okay, so you're probably asking yourself, which one do I need? When would I use one over the other? And that's the right question. It all comes down to matching the right AI tool to the job you're trying to do. Let's break it down. Let's just put them right next to each other. Your AI agent, that's your solo worker. It's perfect for automating a specific, contained task, like sorting your email or handling one customer ticket. But Agentic AI, that's your collaborative team.
It's what you bring in for the big, complex, multi-step projects, like building a new piece of software or managing an entire supply chain. So the main takeaway is this. You use an AI agent for a task, but you use an agentic system for a project.
Now, as exciting as all this is, we've got to be real. We are still in the very early days of this stuff. And to get to that future we're all imagining, we have some pretty significant challenges to solve first.
For the single AI agents, the problems are things you might have heard of with large language models. They can still hallucinate, just make stuff up. And their ability to plan really complex steps is still limited. But with agentic AI, you get a whole new class of problems. How do you stop one agent's mistake from causing a domino effect that messes up the whole team? How do you make sure they actually work together properly? It gets complicated fast.
But the great news is researchers are already on it. To stop hallucinations, they're using techniques like RAG, which basically forces the AI to check its homework against real information. For better decision-making, they're using causal modeling to help agents understand cause and effect. And to manage the teams, they're building what are called orchestration frameworks. You can think of them as expert project managers for AIs, making sure the whole team works together safely and efficiently.
And all of this leads to a final, pretty mind-bending idea from the research. So what's next? What's the ultimate frontier? Well, it might just be AI systems that don't need any of our data to learn. Just imagine, systems that evolve completely on their own, constantly creating and solving their own problems, getting better and better through a cycle of self-improvement. We could be looking at a future where AI doesn't just learn from us, but learns entirely from itself. An incredible thing to think about. Thanks for joining us.